What's good? I don't know how this working. Keep it G. Um, what's up with y'all? I'm gonna try to make a couple videos tonight. I need to get together, be on this YouTube. So, what we get ready to watch right now is an audit from a law student. Um, I had my screen fixed, but it kind of went weird, so I gotta figure out how to, if I can crop this, keep it. Nah, so I'm gonna make it bigger. We're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it at full. Make sure you can see the YouTube page name, and I'm gonna subscribe to them. It's hot, okay? It's very hot, so you might hear this fan getting busy.
On July 29, 2023, Sergeant Eric McLean of the Seneca Falls Police Department stopped former law student Christopher Welch for a defective headlight in a Burger King parking lot in Seneca Falls, New York. Sergeant McLean was later joined by Officer Bryce Rumsfeld and Officer Colin Zettelmoyer. The interaction that followed was captured on Sergeant McLean's body camera.
How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Sergeant McLean with the Seneca Falls Police. Pulled you over because you have a headlight out on your vehicle?
You know, I was actually wondering that because
Yeah.
it was a little like, it wasn't lit up 100%.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a license on you?
I do,
Nice.
yes sir.
Where are you coming from tonight?
I'm actually just coming from my house to here to get some dinner.
Okay, everything
Yeah.
valid on your license?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, how many alcoholic beverages you had tonight?
No.
Nothing?
No sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
get that.
Oh, I thought you were handing that to me.
Oh no.
Okay, alright. You have the registration for the vehicle?
You know what? I mean, it's legit. I just
Yeah.
don't have it in here.
Okay, is the car registered to you?
I think it's my girlfriend,
Girlfriend's
Jennifer.
okay. Just want to
It's one or the other.
Okay, just want to turn the car on real fast to see, just to verify the headlight is
Yeah.
still off. You just stay in the car, just let you know.
Yeah, no problem.
No, you're good. Just the passenger side one. You just stay in the car for now.
Okay.
Take a look at your license.
Yo, he really great go through all that over a headlight, and the dude is chill. But you really great go over that over a headlight. That's kind of bug. Like, I mean, I got stopped before for light out on my plate. I mean, I do got 5% tint, but still, a light out on my plate. You fishing. To me, if you stop somebody for something like that, you fishing. The headlight situation, still fishing. I mean, if you check on them, see what's up, blah, blah, blah. But that's fishing. Also, though, most cars, once you see you got a headlight out, be honest with you, it's not that hard to replace. Some cars is just hard to replace because you got to do too much. My homeboy Trey just told me his car, you got to go through the tire.
Yeah, I think it's under her name or my name. I can't remember which one it's registered under, but
It looks like it's maybe your wife, Sindoni. Is that
yeah,
your
it's my
girlfriend or what?
woman. Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright, you're all good. You said no alcohol tonight?
No, hell no. I don't drink.
You know, okay. I
No.
smelled something fruity. What's that? Is that
I don't know. Probably my Pepsi or something.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You gotta take a look at your eyes real
Absolutely.
quick. If you don't mind?
Nope. Go
Just
on.
looking for impaired drivers. This
Oh
evening.
yeah, I don't take those tests.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
I just don't. I don't take tests, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you. I'm gonna make sure you're okay to drive.
He ain't got to take him. You know he ain't got to take him. This ain't a alcohol stop. That's not what this is. If this was an alcohol stop, that would be totally different, but that's not what this is. Like, bro being a whole weirdo with that one. Now that's the one thing I think of cop being a weirdo. Stop fishing.
Drive your vehicle.
Yeah, no, I understand. I don't take tests though.
Okay. Why not?
I just don't. It's no disrespect to you.
No, I am performing an investigation right now
Okay.
to make sure you're okay to drive your vehicle.
Yeah, I won't. I don't take tests, sir.
Why not?
I just don't. I mean,
Okay.
I take. I am a law student for one, and two, I just don't take tests.
All right, sit tight for me, please.
Okay.
Mr. Welch declines to allow Sergeant McClain to look at his eyes with a flashlight, arguing that he does not take sobriety tests. While Section 1194 of the New York Vehicle and Traffic Law, known as New York's so-called implied consent law, requires drivers to submit to breath, blood, urine, or saliva chemical testing when lawfully arrested for DWI, there is no requirement under New York law that a DWI suspect submit to field sobriety testing. However, the Court of Appeals of New York determined in the 1999 case of People v. Berg that the refusal to perform field sobriety tests can be used as evidence against the defendant at trial. Therefore, although Mr. Welch was well within his rights to refuse to participate in field sobriety tests, if he were arrested for DWI, his refusal would be admissible against him in the criminal court proceedings.
But he's not drunk. He hasn't been drinking. Like, literally. So how? I mean, I get you explaining the joint, so appreciate that. But yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen. I know it can't happen. I mean, for one, from the title. But here we go. But yeah. See, I forgot about that part right there. Crooked pass.
Tell me. Thanks for coming by. So I pulled him over for a headlight.
Thanks for coming by. Nigga, you call backups. You ain't calling nigga over for a Sunday dinner. No, it's go ahead, man. What's that say? Flame, grilling, scents?
I'm smelling some sort of alcoholic beverage. Smells like it's a fruity drink.
Okay.
From inside his vehicle. So I could check his eyes in his vehicle to see if he's willing to perform any sort of test. He goes, no.
Yo, this motherfucker lying like. Why do you want to lie, bro?
To do tests.
He's not doing any tests.
I want to see if you get the same odor when you go up there.
Okay.
See what you
I'm
think.
gonna go get my flashlight.
Sure. You get that odor too. I observed him with glassy, watery eyes.
Okay.
So he's coming here to get food, but I want you to.
Glassy, watery eyes.
See if you get the same clues that I'm getting.
How we doing tonight, sir? Where are you coming from tonight?
I don't answer questions.
You don't answer any questions?
No, I'm
Why?
not.
Why is that?
Because he's trying to give me tests and he's accusing me of drinking.
No, I just
So-
asked you a question, sir, to perform sobriety
I
tests.
understand, sir.
I'm
And
conducting an investigation
I
right now.
I don't drink for number one.
Okay.
And you're asking me if I've been drinking, sir.
Right.
I don't drink.
Okay. I don't know that. I never met you
No.
before.
Well,
It's just an investigation to make sure you're safe to
No.
drive, alright? That's all it is.
I understand, sir, but
Okay.
I don't answer questions. And it's no disrespect, but at all, you know what I'm saying, at all.
I understand, yeah.
Sonic all units, hold here for
so
your
I'm
state
coming here to
police
get
department
dinner
out
for my
domestic family.
family. And, you know, no offense, but I feel like you're
All
kind
units,
of
hold
coming on a little
No,
strong.
I'm just doing my job, sir.
And just because
Realistically, if he was doing your job, you would have had the conversation with him about the light, and you would have been about your business. You wouldn't be trying to. I mean, in one aspect, you can say you're doing your job because you're escalating a situation and trying to get something out of it. But then in another situation, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
a vehicle smells fruity,
No, a fruity
Doesn't
alcoholic
it-
beverage, like I stated to you, sir.
yeah, well,
You also have watery and glassy eyes.
Of
Another,
course,
another,
sir.
another sign of intoxication.
And I have sinuses, I have
Okay.
allergies, I also have asthma.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Does that cause your eyes to get watery
It
and
does,
glassy?
yes, sir, absolutely.
Because I also have asthma.
It definitely does. Shut your mouth. You ain't got asthma. Shut up.
Absolutely, sinuses not yes. Sir.
Okay.
But
Alright.
you have no issue. If you're not drinking tonight, there's no issues taking a test.
I don't take tests, sir. I just don't do it. I'm sorry.
Why would I take a test if I know I ain't been drinking and I don't drink at all? Why would I take a test? Why would I do it? It wouldn't make no sense.
Okay.
Do you have a supervisor?
I'm the supervisor on
Do
scene.
you have a supervisor?
I'm the supervisor working right now.
Okay. Do you have one available?
No, I don't.
To speak
I'm
with?
the supervisor right now, sir, of the shift.
Okay.
I'm asking you to exit to make sure you're okay to drive right now.
I'll exit, sir. I'm not gonna just not obey.
And I appreciate that.
You want me to exit?
I want you to exit to make sure you're okay to drive.
You give me a command.
I'm giving you a law for to exit your vehicle
Yes,
to make
sir.
sure you're okay to drive.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
That's all I'm doing.
You want me to my wallet?
You don't need your wallet or anything.
Yeah, I'm not taking any tests, sir. So I don't know what you're. You okay to put this in my? Is this okay?
You're nothing
to
on you?
That's
Nothing? Mind if I get
No,
you put
sir.
back down for
I
weapons
do
or anything?
mind. Yes, sir. I don't.
Well,
I
that's gonna be an
don't-
officer.
You're not patting me down. You're not doing None of that. For what? There's no crime. There's no reason for you to put your hands on me. There's zero crime. We're here right now, chilling the fuck out. So what we gonna do? Chill the fuck out. Like, you wanna have a conversation? Perfectly fine. But
Safety check.
I don't comply.
It's just gonna be a quick back down for our safety. That's all it is.
If you have to do it,
I'm not gonna hold anything.
no,
Okay.
go ahead. If you have to do it, this is embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's for
run
our
a
safety,
business.
sir.
I run a local
And
business.
I'm not. There's
This
nothing
is-
against you. If you get out of the
this
car,
is-
I just want to make sure that's your wallet. That you put your wallet in.
I
Okay.
don't answer questions here.
I'm just double checking for officer safety.
Yeah.
Officer Rumsfeld frisks Mr. Welch for quote-unquote officer safety, despite Mr. Welch's initial protest.
I ain't gonna lie. I think some of you cops was just gay as hell. Y'all just like touching people. Cause that just seemed so gay. Cause that just seemed like a pedophile. Ooh, I don't even know if I can say that word. My bad. I gotta get good at this so I can know what I can say, what I can't say, all that crazy stuff. But anyway, stop touching grown men for no reason.
Protests. As we have discussed many times before here on ATA, the Supreme Court held in the 1977 case of Pennsylvania versus Mims that a police officer may order the driver out of the vehicle during a lawful traffic stop as a matter of course. The court also determined in that case that officers have the authority to pat down drivers who are ordered out of their vehicles, but only based upon particularized reasonable suspicion that the individual might be armed. In other words, officers do not have blanket authority to frisk everyone stopped for a traffic violation for so-called officer safety. Rather, the officer must point to objective facts, such as visible bulges, movements toward a concealed area, a prior tip about weapons, or extreme nervous behavior that would lead a reasonable officer to fear for their safety. Now, in this situation, as there was no evidence that would suggest that Mr. Welch was armed, a court would likely determine that the officers could not lawfully frisk him. It should be noted that pat-down searches subject to consent are lawful, regardless of whether or not officers have reasonable suspicion. And Mr. Welch appeared to eventually consent to the frisk. However, consent must be freely given, and there was a strong argument that Mr. Welch's so-called consent was coerced, as the officers continued to demand that they frisk him after he refused to give permission.
So, what I'm asking here is if you had any alcoholic beverages tonight. I'm getting clues of
I answered
intoxication.
your question, sir.
I understand
I do
that.
not drink. If you're
Okay.
getting any clue of intoxication, you need to go back to school.
I've been a cop for 8 years. I know what signs of
Sir,
intoxication
I'm
are.
being
I've been a cop for 8 years. You don't think you can learn something new? You don't think you could relearn some things, re-educate yourself? You don't think none of that, right? You think you just smart because you're a cop. Sir, you're a bitch. Solid.
honest with you.
Okay. Well, I don't know that. I never
Okay,
met you
well,
before.
I'm being honest with you.
People have told me a lot of things in the past. All right.
No.
So
And you probably lied a lot in the past.
what I want to do is check your eyes to make
I'm
sure you're okay to drive.
absolutely not doing that, sir.
Would you be willing to walk for me?
No, absolutely. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I
Why
can't
is that?
believe that you think I...
No, if you had nothing to drink tonight, this would show that you had nothing to drink.
Sir,
No. Just because a person doesn't want to do something that you want them to do doesn't mean that what you blame them for, they're wrong for. What it means is he doesn't drink alcohol. He hasn't been drinking, so he doesn't want to do your test. He doesn't see a point. How many times you got to get that through your head? I promise you, some police, and it's bad because y'all generalize a lot of people, but some police need to take a communications class. Y'all suck at it, especially female cops. I don't care how you feel about that.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, I haven't interacted with a lot of female cops, but the couple that I have, every last one of them needed a communications class. They need to learn how to talk to people. Everybody you talk to as a female cop ain't an ex-boyfriend. Don't bring that aggressive energy. Stop trying to raise your voice. And I'm gonna be real with you. When it comes to a lot of you female cops, y'all don't even be built to be out there like that. The most y'all built for is to shoot the gun. That's it. You're not built to even be outside. Like, you only built to shoot the gun. So it's like, you shouldn't even be out there. You should literally be somewhere else. Because in all reality, if a man decided to, if you was the only cop there and the man decided to just durf you, it's gonna happen. And if you can't get to that radio, listen, I ain't got nothing against y'all. Y'all choose that life and y'all go out there and y'all You know what I mean? Want to be cops and play outside. Just know a lot can come with that shit.
Why is that?
Because I do not. I've been through law.
Wait. I ain't for y'all either. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't against y'all, but I ain't for y'all. I wouldn't agree with y'all being outside. If that's what y'all want to do it. But
Law school and everything else. I do not comply.
You don't comply with the lawful order?
Sir, I've answered your question.
All right. What I'm giving you is a lawful. I'm giving you an
Sir,
order.
I'm telling you, you're giving me an order to take a test.
I'm advising you to take sobriety tests to make sure you're okay to
Sir,
drive
I
your vehicle.
will not take a test. No
Okay.
disrespect.
We're not trying to disrespect you either.
You are, because you
sir.
keep asking me multiple times.
Sir, we have a job to do. Okay, that's all it is. It's no disrespect towards you.
I've answered
that is disrespect. The job's been over. Why are you still talking?
your question.
We get
sir.
lied
I
to
will
every.
not
I don't know. I don't trust him right there though. That guy right there, he touchy-feely, Mr. Touch.
take any test. I will not, and it's no disrespect. I have a lot of friends that's law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? I would not disrespect in that way.
We appreciate that.
It's
We're
just
not
I do
disrespecting
not
you either.
take tests. I do not. In fact, I've dealt with you before previously.
Recall when I
I
dealt
was
with
in
you.
Rittmer Lane before you came to my house and asked me a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Also, again.
Oh, was
I
that
felt
about
like,
was that the Uber thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I do
Yes,
recall you
sir.
now.
And,
Okay.
and I was more than respectful.
I know
to
you were,
Was I
and
not?
I appreciate
I'm a
your
little
cooperation.
nervous because here I am at Burger King, getting dinner for my family.
Right.
And I get nervous when I speak to cops because I just
We're just here to do our job. We're not here to.
get it. But you
mess
pulled
with
me
you.
over for a headlight.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you're pushing it.
I'm not pushing you. I'm just doing an investigation.
You're
right now.
claiming fruity alcohol. You're saying something that smells fruity.
Like I said, fishing. Solid fishing.
Fruity alcoholic
There's a million
beverage.
things. I deliver groceries for Walmart, so maybe
Like I
something
also said,
slipped
you have
out,
you
what
have
I'm
watery
saying?
and glassy eyes. That's a
Okay.
sign of intoxication.
Many people have that, sir.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I never.
Just because somebody has glossy eyes doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it's a sign from our training and experience.
Okay.
It's a sign of
I'm-
intoxication.
Okay, well, okay.
So wait, he can't see from his consistency that he's not drunk? He can't see from just his demeanor, his consistency in conversation that he's not drunk. He can't see that this man is just pretty much irritated. Fuck drunk, he's irritated. He can't see that. So you can't see that this person is irritated. Usually.
So what are you going to do with this, sir?
So tight, let's just get real fast. I'm always done.
Sergeant McLean argues that watery or glassy eyes are a sign of intoxication. While there are many other potential causes of watery and glassy eyes, they can be considered a factor suggesting alcohol impairment when combined with other clues suggesting intoxication. However, even when combined with the alleged quote-unquote fruity alcohol smell in the vehicle, it is improbable that a court would find that Sergeant McLean had probable cause to arrest Mr. Welch for DWI, particularly in consideration of the fact that Mr. Welch was stopped for an issue with his headlight and therefore was not exhibiting any impaired driving. As the New York City Criminal Court explained in the 2023 case of New York versus Gilliland, the law recognizes that the average person can consume a certain amount of alcohol without their ability to properly operate a motor vehicle being impaired. Accordingly, the court determined that evidence that simply shows that a person drank some unknown quantity of alcohol and then drove a car does not establish probable cause for an arrest. Rather, for an officer to have probable cause to arrest for DWI, there must be some additional sign that the alcohol consumption has quote-unquote actually impaired the person's physical coordination. As such, the court held that the combined presence of odor of an alcoholic beverage, glassy, bloodshot eyes, and a fatigued demeanor was insufficient to establish probable cause for impairment. Likewise, a court would almost certainly conclude that there was insufficient evidence to arrest Mr. Welch based on his allegedly glassy and watery eyes and the fruity odor in his vehicle.
Obviously, why would they charge him for that? That's stupid. It's dumb and dumber.
All right, man. There's no disrespect between me and you.
I
I'm just
understand, sir.
doing my job.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to perform tests.
No, sir.
Which I understand. You don't have to if you choose not to.
And again,
Now he doesn't have to, because he chooses not to. I mean, when he said at the first, I promise you, y'all cops be fishing. I like females, bro. How you gonna ask that man the same question 20 times hoping that you get a different answer? It's stupid. You're trying to force somebody under your control. That's some F-bomb activity.
It's no disrespect.
Yeah, no,
it's just
understood.
that I know my rights.
Right, understood. Understood. So I'm gonna write you a ticket for the headlight, okay?
Okay,
Do you mind just stepping back in your car for me, please?
Absolutely.
So I can get that going. Just hop back in the front, hop back in the driver's seat.
I just want to back. It's so weird. 'Cause I just literally replaced that one back like
Right. Okay.
shit.
No, you can do that. You can go
Nah.
home and you can get inside. And you can
Yeah,
sit
it
at
wasn't.
home.
It wasn't too long ago.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yo, I like how he just chilling. He just regular like, yep, I'm gonna check it. Cause if I hit it and this bitch come on, you done.
There'll be a fix-it ticket for the headlight, and then
Okay.
you'll have until Monday to get it fixed on.
Till Monday.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
usually the next business day. But
Now, what do I do with that? Do I bring it
Just-
to the sheriff or not
You
sheriff?
can go.
to the-
Literally, you can go to any. You can go to a mechanic to sign off on it.
Okay.
A law enforcement officer. There's
You're gonna write me a
instructions.
ticket just for that? For real?
We're doing traffic enforcement tonight.
You cut me out here all this time and you write me a ticket for that.
Doing traffic enforcement, sir.
All right, buddy. What's your name, sir?
Sergeant McLean.
Do you have a card?
I do have a card. It'll be on the, my name will be on the ticket as well.
All right, sir. I
All right,
appreciate
just give me a
it.
moment, please.
You see, that's how you know for a fact he wasn't drunk. You see how he looked at me like, really? Cause that's true. Like, really, why would you do that? What was the point of doing that to me? Like, what was the point of taking me through all of this? And because I didn't want to show you, I didn't want to take your test. Now, do you want to write me the ticket?
Thank you. Appreciate you, guys.
I was calling to see if we could do a possible obstruction charge for not wanting to provide submit the.
I ain't even peeped that. He was trying to get an obstruction charge? What the fuck? Yeah.
Still standard field sobriety test. You can't do an obstruction charge.
Kept backing away from me, so I don't.
So did you get? I got a whiff of like a
In-
fruity alcoholic beverage.
in the car.
Yeah, that's the odor I was getting from the
In the
vehicle, which is
car.
what I explained to him. And then
Yeah.
his eyes were glassy and watery.
And then I couldn't, like, he kept backing
Okay.
away from me when I was trying to talk to him.
Right. Okay.
And then, but he wouldn't, like, I couldn't get a strong
He's
enough.
also steadying himself on the hood of the car. He was talking to us, he kept touching it.
But his eyes were glasses.
All right, sir. So you got a citation for inadequate headlight.
Okay.
So, you wanted to speak to a supervisor of mine. So
Okay.
I notified my lieutenant on the phone.
Okay.
He's aware of what's going on.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I can't determine if you're okay to drive or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you refused the sobriety test.
Yes, sir.
I told you you have signs from my training experience of intoxication.
Yes, sir.
You have slowed, mumbled speech.
Mhm.
You have watery and glassy eyes.
I know
All
what
right.
you said, sir.
Okay, and I
Yes,
smell
sir.
an odor of an alcohol beverage emanating from inside the vehicle.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Yes,
you can
sir.
drive or not. So you're gonna have to call someone to pick you up to drive.
Okay.
Understood? So that's what.
Okay. You want me to call someone right now?
That's correct.
What am I gonna do with this vehicle? Leave it here overnight?
I will let them know it can stay here.
Sergeant McLean decides that he will require that Mr. Welch have someone drive him home since he did not submit to field sobriety testing. However, a police officer who has finished a DWI stop with no arrest has no legal authority to forbid the driver from driving away in their vehicle, and a court would likely conclude that such an order was an unreasonable seizure of the individual and their property in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Now, while officers do have limited authority to impound or restrain a vehicle in order to protect public safety, under the so-called community caretaking doctrine, the Court of Appeals of New York concluded in the 2024 case of People v. Brown that such police intrusions must be narrowly tailored to address a perceived need for assistance. The court also noted that the community caretaking doctrine cannot be used to circumvent basic Fourth Amendment protections, and that, as with any seizure of a person or property, seizures under the community caretaking doctrine must be reasonable. Accordingly, having resolved the traffic stop,
This is educational. I ain't even gonna lie. He dropping some gems. But, I mean, these are, like, obvious gems, but these are gems. Bro.
and concluded that there was insufficient evidence to arrest Mr. Welch, a court would likely determine that Sergeant McLean's compulsory order that Mr. Welch refrain from driving, without any sort of legal process or sufficient evidence to form probable cause, exceeded the limits of his authority, and was an unconstitutional interference with Mr. Welch's Fourth Amendment rights.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let's do that. Sounds good.
So that's issue
All right, sir.
your license.
All right.
You wanted a business card as well, you said?
I do. Yeah.
So
I'll grab my phone.
that's fine. Like I said,
Oh, that's all right. We can play this game.
I'm not playing any games,
Oh,
sir.
You're being very disrespectful.
He right. We can play this game because that is a lame ass. Like, you pull the person over for the headlight. Go for the headlight. But then you try to push it because you're looking for an arrest. You're looking for, you're looking for basically a $10,000 wop. Because if you try and catch a man on the DUI, I mean, you try and get like 10, 15 racks out of it. I mean, you, not you personally, but you try and put him in the mix so then they can get the 10, 15 racks out of him for lawyer fees and surcharges. I ain't saying this because I ever had a DUI because I don't drink alcohol. But I know a couple people. We gonna leave it at that.
I will file a complaint.
I've never been disrespectful to you.
Sir, you are being very
This
disrespectful.
is all recorded on body
You
camera.
have pushed this above over a
I have not, sir.
Okay.
This is all recorded on body camera.
Excellent. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I have it all recorded as well, sir.
That's fine.
I guess that's it then. Yeah,
All
just
right,
give me
I'm
your
gonna
number.
give you. Yep. Here's the contact
Sir.
number. For
You have a citation?
here's a citation. You have a court date of
Yeah, get both of those. Dumb and Dumber and Mr. Touchy. Like,
August 14th at 12 p.m. in the town center cross court.
Yes, sir.
For the correction ticket, you have to get it corrected by Monday
I will. Yes, sir.
and have it signed off by a mechanic or a police officer. Okay.
You got it. Yes, sir.
Here's my business card right here, sir.
All
Here's
right.
a citation. Like I said, my lieutenant's been made
Who
aware
are
of the
you,
situation.
Lieutenant? What's his name?
Lieutenant Clear.
Clear. Yes, sir.
He's
okay.
been made aware of the situation.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for us, sir?
That's it.
All right. Have a good rest of your night.
After his detention, Mr. Welch filed a pro se lawsuit in New York State Court against Sergeant McLean, Officer Rumsfeld, Officer Zettelmoyer, the Seneca Falls Police Department, and the town of Seneca Falls. As of the date of writing this episode, the case is still pending. Mr. Welch also submitted a FOIA request and obtained Sergeant McLean's personnel records from his time as an officer with the Greece Police Department in Greece, New York. The records include an investigation into a use of force incident that occurred on June 5th, 2020, where Officer McLean deployed his taser for 53 continuous seconds on a citizen who was non-violently resisting handcuffing, without providing him with the opportunity to comply during that time. During that investigation, a statement was obtained from a sergeant who detailed numerous problematic incidents involving then Officer McLean. Most relevant to Mr. Welch's situation, the sergeant reported that in February of 2020, Officer McLean attempted to charge a driver with obstruction for refusing to participate in field sobriety testing. The sergeant explained to Officer McLean that citizens have the right to refuse to perform sobriety tests, and that citizens are not obstructing officers when they exercise their option to refuse the tests. In response, Officer McLean became, and I'm quoting, argumentative and defensive that his charges were justified, and instead of complying with the sergeant's orders to modify the report, he had a lieutenant sign the report instead. The statement also reported an incident from June of 2018 where Officer McLean seized and disposed of legal synthetic supplements that he discovered during a motor vehicle accident investigation. Officer McLean attempted to justify his actions by arguing that he believed the lawfully possessed supplements were causing a driver to behave quote-unquote irrationally. The sergeant also noted that Officer McLean had become progressively more defensive and
so basically, this officer has a track record of being a dick head. Like, really. Like somebody who just epically wants to harass people because you was on a whole nother police force. I guess that's how it go though, right? That's crazy. It look like I got cowboy mustache. I'm about to shave all this. Oh, my shape up look good without a shape up. Anyway, but this bull got mad strikes against them. Like Greece Police Department, and you out here harassing people. Brody, listen. In reality, when you become a police officer, you should have a certain type of moral code. And if you don't, you need to get one. You ain't gotta like what I gotta say, but I don't care how you feel, and I don't care who you are. Respect is respect. And if you can be disrespectful to people and you in that type of job, you shouldn't have that type of job. Like, you just shouldn't. Like, there's no reason that you should be there. If you don't know how to be generally respectful to people, you shouldn't be there. That's not a job you should have. It's just that simple. Like, why do people have these jobs and they don't know how to? That's just like nurses, teachers, doctors. Some of these people nowadays, and over probably like who knows how long, but they just getting these jobs because they want the money, not because they actually want to help society or help people or do something specific that helps a certain group. It's more or less on like a super personal agenda. When you taking these jobs, there's nothing personal about these jobs. Like, there's zero personal that you could take about these jobs. You're supposed to be out there communicating well with the public, defending the public, and you know what I'm saying, be ready to jump in the front of things. Like, I don't know how people be cops and you ain't ready to die. Because realistically, you signed up for that. If somebody started shooting an AK in the middle of a crowd, it is your job to stop that person without hurting anybody else. You know what I mean? But in all reality, cops like this, they make all cops look bad. Even if you're a good cop, they make you look bad. They make you look bad because this your teammate, this your partner, this your homie, this the people that you kick it with, this the person that you have lunch with. So I know this person is joking about these things. Like, you think about it, you always got them friends that be joking about shit, and it's not really like, it's not really funny. Like, some of the stuff they may joke about is not actually funny. Just perfect example. I bet you, I don't just jump off the bridge and call people racist. So I don't know how he moves like that. So I wouldn't jump off and say that he would do that. But he doesn't show a type of energy that would make sense with the job that he has. So, if you're a cop and that's your thing, be a better person, yo. Because realistically, all cops should have a certain type of moral code that they follow. And if you ain't looking at it like that, if you ain't holding doors for old ladies, if you ain't, get that badge up, bro. Get that badge.